All right, today we are looking at Humanities 30. This is document F. It is the last document in the Ashoka DBQ. So we went right there from the cover sheet to the from the master outline to the cover sheet to the individual assignment. And following this new pattern, I'm going back out to the menu here, clicking these three dots and hitting make a copy. I'm going to come up here and make sure I hit print layout. If you don't hit print layout on document F, it's not going to show up. I don't know why. It just won't. Alright. So this document here is from the first Prime Minister of India, and he's talking about Ashoka and the value that he has, how people look up to him even all these years later. So he says that Ashoka's pillars of stones with their inscriptions would speak to me in their magnificent language and tell me of a man who, though an emperor, was greater than any king or emperors. This astonishing ruler, beloved still in India and in many other parts of Asia, devoted himself to the spread of Buddha's teachings, to righteousness and goodwill, to the public works for the good of the people. He was no passive spectator of events, lost in contemplation and self-improvement. He labored hard at public business and declared he was ready for it. Okay. So he definitely has a positive opinion of Ashoka, and he talks about how he's not passive, that he was engaged. And there's this idea that if you're enlightened, that sometimes you just sit around and think about things a lot and you're very wise, but how much do you act? And so what Naru admires about Ashoka is that he took action about his beliefs, about his Buddhist beliefs, that he wrote all these edicts, set up all these pillars around the kingdom, and really did his best to bring peace and enlightenment to his kingdom. So I would say that this document is probably evidence for him being an enlightened ruler. It'd be really hard to argue that he was a ruthless conqueror based on this piece of evidence. If you're inclined to argue that he was a ruthless conqueror, you're just going to need to use evidence from another document. And as we look at the kind of more specific questions here, like question 3, why might Ashoka be admired in other parts of Asia outside India? Think about why does anyone get admired, right? Like we admire people from all over the world, no matter who they are or what their background is, if they have done something which is inspiring or astounding to us. And because much of Asia is historically Buddhist, it would make sense. And Ashoka did a lot to spread Buddhism throughout Asia. He sent out many of the first Buddhist missionaries to other places. And that is, I think, probably the answer to number 3 there. So today, this is our last document, and then tomorrow we will be getting into the pre-writing for this essay, where we're taking a position on whether Ashoka was a ruthless conqueror or enlightened ruler.